Okay, I have moved everything out of the way so I can get to this wall, and I've got a little step ladder here, and I have decided against using the countersunk screws because I tried one of the countersunk, and it turns out with I tried one of the countersunk screws to see if I could get these extra spaces. You see, the problem with these screws, I could go to a smaller screw, but if I do go to a smaller screw, I go to less strength. You see, this is what's going to be in the wall right there. And if I use a smaller screw head, I'm going to lose it. I tried to countersink, and what happens when you use a screw in one of these is you lose three spots. You lose this one, you lose this one, and you lose this one. Now with the countersink, I get this one back. But I'm saying, is that worth $5? Because I can kind of press it in there. But I've decided, I'm just going to work around them. And I might actually still get this one back if I work hard at it. But it might be worth trying to get it back. Might be worth the $5. I don't know. But, see, with the pan head screws, I can't. And I was looking at what I did over here. It's hard to tell. It looks like I've got a screw right there above that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, actually that is a countersunk screw right there, and I've got that right over it. And unfortunately, I think I am going to use the countersink screws. It's going to cost me $5, but I'm asking myself if I would rather have the money, if I'd rather have the extra spot, and maybe I might lose these other spots. Now I'm only going to have 4 rails here. The question is, I'm definitely going to lose these 3, so the bottom one is going to be there, no higher or lower. The next one, if I use countersink, can go right there. So I have a shallow bottom shelf. And then I've got 4 rails. I can put one right there. I really only have 4 rails, not 5. So since I'm only doing 4 shelves, I can kind of move these around a little bit differently. I don't have to come to think of it, I'm not really even limited by the, so I mean, I have to drop this one down. It's either that or spend the extra $5 and get that extra piece. So, and to get these nice and even, let's see, right there maybe. Alright, let's try this again. You have to get them pushed down. They have to be locked in. Alright, so that's maybe up one here. That's not bad. That's not bad. Alright, so I'd have a spring-loaded punch somewhere, and I can't find it to save my life. And it seems like I only ever find it when I don't need it. So it's useless to me. You'd think a spring-loaded punch is a really handy, wonderful tool to have. You notice the things that I'm using here. I need a pencil. I need a couple of levels. This is a lightweight level that I use to get the straight up and down. And then the big level is going to be to get them level with each other when I go across. So the first measurement I'm going to make is going to be the width of this wall, and it's 41 inches. So I'm going to make a mark with the pencil at 20 1/2 inches, and I'm going to put it about right there, 20 1/2, and that will be the center. If I get pretty close to that, I'm okay. And I'm going to use this piece to get the rough height, because right now I'm going to make a mark. I couldn't find my whole 3-hole punch, but this will go into here, which is what I need. And it's just a little tiny Phillips head, like a number 1 or number, I don't know what number Phillips head. It's a tiny little Phillips head. And there it is again. Just not putting these things in to stay. You have to lock them down or they'll fall right out. This one's being, why isn't it locking down? Oh, there it is. So you have to push them down. Okay. Alright, so I wanted these in here so I can get an idea where the shelves are going to be. That needs to be on that line. And so how high do I want them? Here's my bottom shelf. I've got a table along here that I put in. And it's about this high, so I have a toolbox that pops up. I might want this just, well look, I've got quite a bit on that top shelf already. So, this is on the line. That's the line right there. I might need to bring that little shelf back in here to see, because I know I put my toolbox on it and I pop that lid open all the time. So let me grab that table. I'm going to grab the table and stick it back in here. And this table, it's sharp as heck and dangerous, and if I had babies around here, I wouldn't have this table. I'd get rid of it. In fact, the friend who gave it to me because he had babies around, so he didn't want them getting cut up and shredded with this thing. Okay, here's how high this little shelf is. And I have my toolbox on top of that, and sometimes it opens to about let's see how tall my toolbox is. When I open, here's my toolbox, and I pop it open, and my toolbox sets 20 inches high when I open it. Now I'm going to make it just for this toolbox, but any toolbox I might have, and any toolbox I'm going to put here, I get into this thing all the time. Okay, so bottom shelf can't be in the way down, shouldn't be in the way down to there. Otherwise I'm going to have to move my toolbox over. Alright, so let's go back up here. And here's the bottom. And there's about where I don't want anything to get in the way. And you know what? Here's what doesn't need to get in the way of the toolbox. What that's going to be up too high. I already know that. So worst case is I have to move the bottom shelf up a little bit. So that's what will happen. I'll move the bottom shelf up, because I think I should have more space up here. Actually, I shouldn't be so high. You know what? I can put these shelves anywhere I want, right? And this is not going to be here forever. There's nothing that says that this toolbox is going to be this way forever. So let's go right there. What did I have in my hand before? I had that little screwdriver and I set it down over there. So let's get that. And I'm going to make a drill hole. Now I'm lining this again. Here's my mark. That's the center. Let me get this about as high as I want to get the top shelf, like that. And then, because that's what I'm going to line up on, is the top shelf. And then that's where I'm going to put it. I'm going to put a little hole right there, and that's where my first screw is going to go. Now let's make sure that I can see it, because I'm going to drill a hole right there. And I'm going to use a screw to hold this guy up. So let's right there. Hope I don't lose it. Right there. I should mark that. Let's put a little bit of a mark right here so I don't lose it. There we go. Right. Now, next question is what size drill? Well, you have to look at this and see what size drills these guys want right here. This says a number 8 by 10, and it should tell me exactly what size drill. It uses 3/16, and I think we went over and exercised that last time. I think a 3/16 might be sitting out here. I don't know if it's 3/16 or not. This looks like a concrete bit. No, it's not. Here we go, tape measure. And that looks to be about 2 3/16. Okay, so that looks to be about a 3/16. I don't know if you can see that or not. Next little thing I need, we're going to get the drill out. I sure hope that was a full inch because it didn't feel like it. But let's drop an anchor downside here. And didn't even need to tap that in. I hope that's a 3/16. We need a Phillips head driver. Pretty sure it's a number 2 Phillips head. And a screw, which we have laying right over here. And let's see. Make sure I put this back where we think we want it to be. I think that was it right there. Okay, now the one thing I didn't adjust was the torque on this thing. I want to set it low because I don't want to strip these things out of the wall. And if I need to make it a little bit tighter, then that's fine. I had this one set on 10. The maximum is 23 is the maximum, but 24 is it's just locked. There's no torque adjustment. It'll just break the screws right off. So I'm going to set this to around 5 or 6, which is plenty. Now, why did I just put one in? And I probably should not have put it all the way in because I don't want it all the way in. I want it a little bit loose here. Or do I? Yeah, I do. Okay, and the reason for that is I'm going to put another one of these guys up. Now, this one is not going all the way over to the edge, but what I want to do is I'm going to want to put another hole right there, but I want this level with that. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to get another one of these guys, and I'm going to count down, set it right up next to that, and make sure it's locked into place. That's going to be a good question. I really need to get one that's just like this because I want to make sure that these guys are the same type. Okay, so obviously this is not going all the way to the wall. It's the idea behind this is that this supports 1/3 of the weight. So it's going to be in the middle of the 1/3 of the board. This will carry the middle 1/3. This will have the middle left side 1/3, and this one will support the right side 1/3. You don't want it all the way out here on the left because then this one is supporting 2/3 of the weight. So, and it's really just a matter of looking at where the board is. Here's the board that goes on here. and seeing how wide this board is. Now this board goes, it's 40 inches, so it's 41 inches from end to end. It's 40 inches wide. So I'm going to have this, say about right there. As you can see, that will support, again, the middle 1/3. This one will support the left side 1/3. Right, and as you can see, just a little bit of tipping, and it goes off this direction. So the middle 1/3 is going to be about right there. And I'm not going to, yeah, I could get this exact, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to look at where the middle third is. Break this board into 3 pieces, 2, 3. It's roughly about right there, right? I mean, you can guess it out. 13 inches in would do it. It would be just right. 40 inches. 3 times 13 is 39, so that's pretty close. So that means 1/3 of this board is roughly 13 1/3 inches, and half of that is about 6 and a, well, let's see, half of 13 1/3. Half of 13 is 6 1/2, so about 6 1/2, about right there, right? Or I could just go 13 inches, 13 1/2 inches away from that, right? Okay, so 13 1/3 inches or 13 1/4 should be pretty close. So let's make that 13 1/4 inches. If I wanted to do this exactly, then that's the way I would do it. I'm not that critical on the exact. But again, remember that the left side is supporting 1/3, the right side is supporting 1/3, and the middle is supporting 1/3. In another case, where I only have 2 racks, see, I eyeballed this one too, and as you can see, when this one went in, I said this rail is going to support this half. So I want to put it, and you can see I'm a little bit off to the left of it, but it should be about halfway across, halfway through the left half. And the same thing with this one. This one's going to be halfway across the right half. And that one's pretty close, but really, I mean, you know, it depends on where you put the, I don't want to move that around because I got all these dishes up here. But, so I mean, basically think about what that rack is going to be supporting. It's going to be supporting this half, so let's put it in the middle of that half. This one's going to support this half, the middle of that half. And this supporting 1/3 of the middle, 1/3 of the left side, 1/3 of the right side. So, just to be on it, let's throw a mark out there. So we put a mark. I'm going to put 13 1/3, and we're going to say this is going to go there. And again, actually 13 1/4. Sorry about the hiccups. Started last night, and I know how to get rid of them, is hold your breath for 30 seconds, but I'm too lazy to do that. There should be the center of the right side right there, 13 1/3 over. I barely see that mark that I put up here. All right. Okay, so the next step is using the lightweight level and getting this, the height. So we know where this is going to go. But now I want to get these two at the same level. And I don't want to measure from the floor. I'm just going to put this where it looks right. Here's my mark. I'm going to make that level. And what do I need here? I need my little screwdriver here. Say hello to my little screwdriver. All right, there we go. And then, now this might be off a little bit, but I'm going to put one more screw. And notice I'm going at the top of this so it doesn't slide down any. Alright, and I'm checking to make sure that hasn't moved. And I'm going to bore the little hole that I'm going to put a screw in right there. Alright, so let's take that down and put it in, because that's going to be the next one. that out. Drill a hole. There's the hole right there. I don't think this is a full inch thick. This might be less than 1 inch thick, so, but it doesn't really make any difference. I'm not going to put that much weight on this thing anyway. I don't want to put that much weight on. Okay, my screws. I need 1 anchor and 1 screw. Alright, and that went in kind of easy. A little too easy. I wonder if I really do have a 3/16 drill in here. I maybe should check that and make sure. Because it seems like there was a little bit more resistance when I did the other one out there. I could measure it. I probably ought to. Went in way too easily. Alright. Screw. Alright, and the screw's right there. Take this guy in. It is resisting a little bit as it goes in, so that's good. Alright, so let's check. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let's get number 3 up here. Again, I think I already have a mark here, so really all I have to do is line up the 3rd piece with that mark. And what I will also want to do is put one of these guys on, same as that one, so that they're all marked up. Let's find out. Put this in the right place, and it goes right there. And but this time, make sure that's nice and seated. This time I'm going to use this guy, and it's going to go all the way across. And what that's going to do is make sure not just that I'm level with this one, because I could just take a level right there, but I want to be level with all 3 of these. So when I put a board on here, even if the board is warped, I'm going to assume that all my boards are straight. So I want it right there. You see, I don't care if it's level or not. I just want, because I've already leveled these guys right here. This might not be perfectly level, but these all need to be the same distance apart. So let me get my screwdriver, punch. So I wish I could find my real punch. The first thing is line up this line right here, and I want to let this hang a little bit so that that's kind of sort of straight, because we haven't adjusted how straight it is just yet. That's going to be another leveling. Alright, so I'm just going to bring that right up to it. So hanging on here. Where's the line? The line's right there. Put that right in the line. Bring it up to it where it touches it. To the right. Okay, it's not perfect. And now I want to bring it up to this thing. Okay. Is that all right? There. Make my hole. Okay. Okay, so there's 3rd hole. Let's drill it. Put this down. Well, I took this thing out and it ends up I'm using it. Okay. Alright. There's There's the hole right there. Yeah, I really think this might be too big. I could measure it. I should measure it because I've got a lot more screws to go in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 15 screws total. Let's measure that drill because I feel like it might be. I'm going to use a vernier caliper. Oh, guess what I found? Like I said, I always find this when I don't need it, but now it's the first time I found it and I did need it. Now I can use this instead of that stupid little screwdriver. Alright, so it's nice to have this. Goodness, it's looking all over the place. Alright, so I close this, turn it on, should be 0. 3/16 of an inch. 0.196 is what I get around here. And I think that's 3/16. 3/16 is around, well, let's check it. Calculator time. Get out the calculator. Calculator. Clear, 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 clear. 3 divided by 16 is 0.1875. So pretty close to 0.19. So yeah, that's a 3/16. Alright, so we're good. We're good. 0.196 is really close to 0.1875 or whatever we got over there. I'll turn that off. Now, I have this guy. Instead of that silly screwdriver I've been using, which is over here. To remember to put that back where it belongs. I don't know how it got. Oh, I know how it got in. The last time we did that, that putting a hose hanger up. Okay, so I need a screw and an anchor. So it is the right. Even if it's going in way too easy, it's the correct. It's what the dimension that's called for in the specification. Alright, so let's pop this guy in. Okay, got the ass screw right there. Got this guy. Had this guy. Could just shove it in there and get it started. That's why I did it. Dropped another screw. Alright. Again, I've got this on real low torque, and I'm just going to let this hang here. I'm not going to lock it in. Let's test everything to make sure it looks good, because I can still move things around if I want. And that looks like it's, well, just a hair off. How about that? Can you believe after all that it's a hair off? I just did a big job, big deal out of making that right on the money, and what does it do? It's a hair off. More than a hair. I mean, that's going to put all the force on these two guys right here, and none of it on this. I mean, eventually, if there's a lot, the board will bend and go into this, but that shouldn't be going that way. So, here's what I'm going to do. Thanks for watching my program.